All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Courtroom. Happy Wednesday. Let's keep it a Wednesday. Let's not try to turn it into a Monday. Even though in my court, during our breaks, we work on the puzzle that's behind me. It's over 1,000 pieces. We finished it and somebody took one piece. So there's one piece that's missing, but we're still going to keep it a Wednesday. We're not going to make it into a Monday, Brenna. We're going to find that one piece. All right. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You're in a courtroom. So what does that mean? That means that if you were physically in the courtroom, whatever you can do if you were physically in the courtroom, you can't do on this Zoom screen. So that means that you're not allowed to use the chat box to the inmates who are at the jail. You're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be sent back. If you are at home, you cannot be in your bed laying down. You cannot be cooking, fixing breakfast. If you are at work, you need to find a stationary place. If anyone behaves inappropriately on this Zoom, you will be required to appear in the 187 District Court at 300 De La Rosa, and your Zoom privileges will be revoked. So what does that mean? That means that you just turned your Wednesday into Monday because you're going to have to drive downtown through traffic, find a parking space. That's expensive, or either wait on the via bus or whatever. To all of you who are wearing masks, if you're going to wear a mask, do it properly. That means that it's supposed to cover your mouth or your nose, not really protecting yourself, you're protecting other people around you. To all the attorneys who are here, if you have an agreement with the state, you need to put that in the chat box, and you'll put that in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson Coordinator. Please do not text her, chat her, message her, call her, or email her asking for a continuance or a reset. I'm the only person that can do that for you. I'm going to call the name of attorneys. This is the order in which you'll appear. Dennis Marino, John Robertson, Tony Hernandez, Jerome White, Andres Campion. Is there any defense attorney's name that I have not called? All right. To some of the people who are defendants or accused, I know you're worried right now because you did not hear your attorney's name. Your attorney is more likely than not Zooming in another courtroom. You will get a chance to meet with your attorney. And actually, some are just popping in right now. I'm going to open the breakout rooms. When I open the breakout rooms, it will invite everyone to go. Do not go to a breakout room. I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a room. To all of those who are accused, who are defendants, your attorney is probably going to want to go to the breakout room with the prosecutor and speak with them before you. So if your name is not called to go to a breakout room, it's because no one is asking for you to go into that room. Attorneys, as you can tell, there are more defense attorneys than there are prosecutors. So when you get sent to a breakout room, think of it as a doctor's office. What that means is you're not seeing the doctor right away. They're just checking your blood pressure and your weight. So put some patience in your pocket. Let's keep this a Wednesday. Let's not try to turn it into a Monday, and everybody be nice and pleasant to each other. Attorneys, when I call your name, I need to know your client's name, and I need to know whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. If there's anyone here with any type of child pornography or something of that nature, just let me know. I guess that's now special crimes or something. Just let me know it's a special case so I'll know how to designate you. All right, Dennis Marino.
Judge, CTD, we're asking today, though, for a occupational license. And Judge, also, I had a family emergency, and so court can handle me as soon. I'm out of town.
Yes. All right, did you talk to the state about the occupational license? Because it's going to be a matter of whether or not the plea bargain agreement was the person was not to drive. And that, I don't know. What is your client's name?
Daniel Stanley.
Because usually with occupational license, I handle those fairly quickly. So there is a reason why it's here, and we will find out. Could one of the prosecutors go to breakout room number 2 to meet with Dennis Marino quickly, please?
Judge, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. John Robertson?
Good morning, Your Honor. I've got Camille Edwards. It's a CTD case in MTR. I need to confer with the state, please.
And you say Camille Edwards?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tony Hernandez?
Morning, Judge. It's Allison Berry. It's CTD. It's at MTR.
I'll send you to number 4.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jerome White.
Good morning, Judge. I have Amy Sutherland. You might have her as Amy Barton. It's a CTD MTR case, and I need to confer with the prosecutor on this one.
Okay. You say Amy Barton and whatever their name?
Sutherland is the other name that it may appear under.
All right, I will send you to breakout room number 5.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's still Wednesday.
It's still Wednesday. Andres Campion. Andres Campion. Going once. Andres Campion going twice. Andres Campion 3. Fernando Cortez.
Good morning, Judge. I'm here on a motion to amend bond condition to get from no contact to no harmful injurious
All right,
contact.
what's your client's name?
Jonathan Gonzalez, and he's on there.
Is it Gonzalez with an S or a Z?
I mean, Duncan, the video, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6. A prosecutor will meet you there to confer. All right, Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
Yes, who do you have?
Just a moment, Judge.
All right, well, he's getting that together. Bobby Barrera.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Frank Tallarico. I've been dealing with Hunter. And
All
we're
right,
waiting
I'll
on a
see you.
reply from the complainant.
Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7.
Thank you, Judge. Frank, just stand by.
Cornelius Cox.
Good morning, Judge. Mine is, I guess, it's special crimes. I have the Jonathan Yost.
I'm here on that case, Your Honor.
Okay.
We need to confer, Judge, if we can.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 8.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Judge, I have Larry Campos and John Rice.
Just one moment.
Sure.
Is Larry Campos CTD or Criminal Trial Division?
I think it's CTD. Well, that is Criminal Trial Division, yeah.
All right, and who else do you have?
John Rice, same thing.
I'll send you to breakout room number 9. Well, let me see. Yes, number 9.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Andres Campion.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. Who do you have?
I have Jesse Perez. I had called the clerks to ask to see if I was still on the docket, and they had told me that I was not. And then I was informed that my name was called. So here I'm back.
No, your name was called because you had zoomed in.
Right. I had zoomed
Yes.
in, assuming that I was still on the docket as I was on the phone with the clerks.
Okay.
And then the clerks told me I wasn't, so I hopped off to go to another court. My apologies.
Oh, no problem. Did you receive a Zoom link for this court?
I did
today?
not. I called and got it. That's how I got on.
Okay.
Because
All
I
right.
originally had a setting form saying for today.
All right. Well, I tell you what, just 1 second. Norma Ferguson is zooming in. I just want to make sure that you're not supposed to be here, even though you're
clerks
not
told
on
me
the
that-
docket.
The clerks told me I was set for September 14th now.
Okay. Well, let's just check with Ms. Ferguson and make sure
Yes, Your
so
Honor.
that you'll have the correct date and we'll make sure it's correct.
Actually, can
Just
I talk to
1
him
second.
too, since he's here?
Yeah, I'll speak with Meredith.
Cool.
Okay. Awesome. So Andres, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. Just give me 1 moment. Dennis Marina on Daniel Stanley. State, was there an issue with his occupational license?
Not that I'm aware of, Judge. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know why it was set.
I'm not sure either. We'll defer to the court on that. I mean, if they go through the proper channels, and I understand that that's pretty typical with these
Yeah.
kinds of cases, so.
Yeah, so I don't know why it was here. But what I will say, I don't have a, let me see, Mr. Marino, if I have a copy of a motion for an occupational license.
Judge, I submitted it also, Judge. I haven't done one in a while. I did file a civil suit, so I got a civil cause number also. I don't know if the court wanted that, but that's pretty on file too.
No, I just need the motion. All right, to
Yes.
the clerks, I need a copy of the motion for the occupational license on 2021 CR 4698W.
Judge, that was the only thing that was emailed to me from his office. What I gave you was that order, whatever was emailed to me from his office.
I don't have a copy of the order. Is it?
It should be in your files, Judge.
Okay, let me try to find it.
Your Honor, I did not submit an order yet because I didn't know what the court was going to require. I did submit a motion.
Great.
Oh, I'll need the order, Mr. Marino, but as soon as you send that to me, I'll sign it. Usually, if there's an issue with an occupational license, that's usually when it's set. So if you get that to me, you can either send it to me by email, but if you're sending it to me by email, please include the clerks. I'm
Yes,
sorry,
ma'am.
the prosecutor, okay?
Yes, so Judge, in the order, that's why I wasn't sure. Do you want me to lay out the parameters for when this man could drive, or how do you want me to handle that in the order?
Yes, in the order you need that, and you also need the fact that he's insured and that
Yes.
the vehicle is under ignition interlock. And
Yes, ma'am.
I'll need the hours, and if you want to waive the hours, just let the court know.
Okay. Judge, I'm out of town and I may not be back for a couple of days.
Oh, just whenever. We're here from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Well, sometimes 9 to 6, at least I am.
Well, Judge, until I can get back and get that order signed, my client's status on driving.
Yeah, I mean, he can't drive without the occupational license.
So, right, I'll get this thing to the court as soon as I
This
can.
isn't appropriate. All right, thank you. As soon as it's done, I'll take care of it.
Thank you, Judge.
All
Have a
right,
good
you're
day.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks. All right, everyone, just give me a moment. All right, John Roberson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I think we're going to have a deal. I need to speak with Miss Edwards real briefly in a breakout. This
Okay.
is a NTR.
Ms. Edwards, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3 to speak with your attorney. And Mr. Robertson, you can go back to number 3. John Robertson, is there anything else you need from the court?
Judge, we've got an agreement on an MTR that'll be a time served JSAT.
All right.
So
Just get
Just
it
need
to
to get-
Norma. Yes, so they can give you the
I'll
paperwork.
chat and do the paperwork. Okay, I'll need to go back to breakout 3 with her to do that.
All right. And you have the ability to go back to that room.
Yes.
Paul Goki. Paul Goki. All right, whenever he's ready. Norma, and do you have an update on April Sanchez? Was she picked up or transferred?
No, ma'am, she's still in jail. She's at the Bexar County Jail still.
Okay. We will see the status.
Is Abel on here? Abel said he was gonna log in.
No, he's not here.
Okay.
Mr. Tellerico.
Yes, yes. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Tellerico. You need to appear in the 187 District Court. It's located at 300 De La Rosa. So get thee to the 187 District Court. Your Zoom privileges are revoked.
Why? Because I was moving?
Well, let me ask you this. Are you allowed to smoke in the courtroom? I don't think so. I think that stopped at the 50s and 60s. So we'll see you in the 187 District Court. See you there.
Right now?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna change my clothes.
Yeah. You made your Wednesday until Monday.
Excuse me?
Tony Hernandez.
Yes, Judge, can I be put in a breakout room with my client, please?
All right, Miss Berry, I'm going to send you to a breakout room number 6.
Thank you, Judge.
And your attorney will meet you there. Paul Goki. John Kuntz.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I spoke to my client's mother and sent the email link a little while ago, so they should be on. We had told them 9:30.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Oscar Salinas, I'm assuming you're here for Mr. Goki. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? There we go.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, awesome.
All right.
Yes,
Yes.
for Mr. Groke.
All right, his screen is black and his audio is off. I've called his name at least twice, but he's not picking up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send him to a breakout room and I'll send you there. Miss Berry, I'm gonna send you to number 4 with your attorney. Tony Hernandez, if you can go to 4. And Oscar, I'm gonna send Paul Goki to number 10.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who's just called in on the landline? Last number 948. All right, everyone, give me a moment, please.
Mr. Roberts, you can go back to breakout room number 3.
Andres Campion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, so your case is set on the date you believe it's set, the 14th, is that correct?
That is to my understanding. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you had a chance to confer with Meredith on whatever case it was?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right.
Judge,
yes.
it involves cooperation with another county on a case that has not been indicted yet. So we're trying to work on that, hunt that stuff down, and figure out how we're going to proceed.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. If you don't have anything else with us, thanks for dropping by. I see that you liked the 187 because you didn't have anything with us, but you're like, I'm stopping by to say hello.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't?
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. And it appears that Paul Goki may be having some issues with his connections. All right, who is Galaxy J12? The person who's at their home in the dark, what is your name? Hey, somebody explain to me, why do people take their time to get dressed when they come on Zoom when they should do that beforehand? These are questions that I have.
Fine, Judge. I'll stop getting dressed on Zoom.
I appreciate that, John.
Campos, can you go to room 9? All right. John, have you all completed your paperwork?
Yes, we have. It should be back to the court. We're ready whenever you are.
Okay, let me see. It hasn't popped up in my box yet. All right, did Ms. Edwards click on her end to have it sent to me?
Yes. Yeah, it said you're all set when we were finished.
Okay.
Should be back.
I'll check where it's at, Judge.
All right, thank you. And I've cleared out my box to make sure I'm not missing it.
Judge, it looks like it's stuck with you. I'm going to print it out, Judge.
All right, thank you. Because
welcome.
nothing's come on this end. All right, Ms. Edwards, we will take that up. Is there a prosecutor available for Ms. Edwards?
I'm gonna put this up.
Here, Judge.
All righty.
Hey, Marcus, we had our agreement is to plead true to condition number 5 for 12 months. It's a JSAT.
Thank you.
All right, the court is calling 2013 CR 0972, State of Texas versus Camille Edwards. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
John Robertson for Miss Edwards. She's present. We're ready, Your Honor.
All right, and are you Miss Edwards?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Edwards, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you
Yes,
review
ma'am.
that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you a document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Camille Edwards who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2013 CR 0972 for the offense of theft under $1,500 enhanced on August 19, 2013 for a period of 2 years and extended for a total of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Camille Edwards did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April and June 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True.
State?
We'll waive the rest.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Edwards, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge, we're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate and revoke, and sentence her to 12 months.
That's our agreement, Your Honor. As she be given credit for time served.
All right, Ms. Edwards, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 12 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. Is this a judgment satisfied?
Should be, Your Honor.
All right, the court will show that the judgment is satisfied. I'm showing you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. Ms. Edwards, I have a few questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
First off, the piercings that you have on your cheek, was that painful?
No, ma'am.
All right,
No,
see, I
ma'am.
want, like, did you get them all 3 at the same time, or did you
Yes,
get one
ma'am.
and go back?
No, all at the same time.
Okay, so what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Well, I did get my certificate for culinary arts. So I plan on going on a ship and being a cook, a chef cook.
Okay, awesome. So when you make food, are you gonna do the type of food where there's like this small little piece on a plate and you put some sauce on it and say that'll be $60?
No, ma'am. I'm a big girl, so I like to eat. So we're gonna do some big plates, some soul food.
Okay, awesome. Well, here's the thing, Miss Edwards, I'm gonna give you a speech that I give a lot of people.
Yes, ma'am.
Basically, you're at a crossroads in your life. Everybody is always excited when they're finished with their sentence because they say, I'm going to do all these things. And then when they get in the real world, there are all these temptations out there and they forget how it was to be in the jail. So you have a choice. Either you can be in and out of the jail, in which case, at some point in time, when you're at the jail or at prison, some new person's going to come in. They're going to say, how does this joint run? And somebody's going to say, well, you need to ask the grandmother of the group. And they're going to say, who's the grandmother? And they're like, oh, ask Grandmother Edwards. So if you don't want to be Grandmother Edwards at the prison, you're going to have to make some different choices. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Big time.
All right. Good luck to you. All right.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
John, if you don't have anything else, you are excused. And Norma, can you let them know that L21 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Good luck, Camille.
Thanks again, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good day, Judge.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
If I may approach, Judge, when you have a moment.
Just give me one moment.
Yes.
Brian Kimbrough, who do you have?
Morning, Your Honor. I've got Juan Garcia, and that was a violation report that you wanted to have us appear on this morning.
All right. Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial.
All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room to confer with the state. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Okay, thank you.
Jerome White.
Yes, Judge, we have an agreement on Amy Sutherland. I will just need the waiver of appeal.
All right, just put it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson.
I'm on it, Judge. I'm doing it right now.
Thank you. All right, and then Fernando Cortez.
Yes, Your Honor, on my motion to have the no contact switch to no harmful or injurious contact, the state is going to oppose that.
All right, just give me a moment. We'll take that up. Bobby Barrera.
Your Honor, I believe we have a plea deal. Mr. Tellerico is headed down to the courthouse, so until he gets there, I can't confirm, but we'd like the paperwork prepared. I think we're good today to do the plea.
All right, thank you. And for those who are doing the plea, if you could make the plea paperwork, then go to the courtroom. All right, Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes,
Judge, I
Judge.
just put him in a room so he could speak to his other client.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you. I just wanted to let you know what the status was with both defendants.
Have you talked to both defendants?
I'm going to talk to John Rice in just a second, but the issue is that it's a first setting and the state hasn't had a chance to talk to its complaining witness on an ag rob case. So there's really nothing we can do today. And I was just going to let Mr. Rice know that I haven't spoken to him, but I did speak to Larry Campos on the MTR.
Yes.
And that's we're ready to go on the MTR. Yeah.
Okay. Then on Campos, you need certain documentation. Just put in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson what the agreement is. And on Mr. John Rice, where is John Rice?
He went to the room already.
All right. After you speak with John Rice, if you'll both come back into the main room, we'll get a reset date for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then Fernando Cortez. David Martin, are you here? Or
I'm
Joe
here,
Ray?
Judge. Joe Ray, yes.
Okay. And is your client just listed as Jonathan?
Jonathan, yes, Your Honor, Jonathan.
Is this your
Trevino.
client?
Oh, yes, I'm right here.
Yes.
Okay, the person who's on the screen, is this your client?
No, Jonathan Trevino, Judge, is up on the top right now. He got his full name up there.
All right, thank you.
Jonathan Trevino, sorry.
Oh, no problem. It's that sometimes there are a lot of Jonathans on the screen and nobody has their last name.
And the alleged victim should also be on there. Maria Gonzalez wants to address the court on this motion.
All right, just one moment. Let me see if I have the motion. Okay. All right, the court is calling CM 087625, State of Texas versus Jonathan Edward Trevino. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Joey Garcia.
for the defense?
Fernando Cortez for Mr. Trevino.
Okay, and I'm sorry, we also have 2021 CR 6414. Are these both the same cases or does he have two separate cases?
Two separate, Judge.
All right.
The CR is the ag assault with a deadly weapon, and the CM is the continuous violence against family.
All right, then if both parties could announce on both CM 087625 and 2021 CR 6414, so the record will be clear for the state.
Joey Garcia for the state.
For the defense.
It's Fernando Cortez for the accused.
All right, and are you Jonathan Trevino?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's Wednesday. We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Trevino, do you have any objections with this taking place by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, the court is in receipt of a motion to amend bond conditions. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
Yes, Judge, I have.
And are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may begin.
Judge, we'd like to call the alleged victim, Maria Gonzalez.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, can you unmute yourself and show your video, please?
Yes, I am right here.
All right, so before we begin with her testimony, is she planning on saying something that was different than what she said in a police report? Is she here to deny the allegations? Because if she's here to deny the allegations, or if she's here to say something other than what she told the police, if the police were involved, then she needs an attorney appointed to her. So if that's what's about to happen, then she needs an attorney. Does anyone know? Because the court doesn't know any facts of this case, Mr. Trevino. The only thing the court knows is what you're charged with. I don't have any police reports, or I have not received any information on this case. So, question, is she here to deny that these offenses took place?
I want to clarify this for the court, Judge, as I clarified it for Ms. Gonzalez. Those factual issues have no place here in this setting. The only issue here before this court today is that she wishes to have the no contact order switched to no harmful or injurious contact. We are not here to discuss any of the fact whatsoever.
Okay.
Judge, if I may.
Here's the problem. If there are going to be questions.
Well, certainly not for me. If the state intends to provoke that issue, then that's not my doing. But I was very clear on this issue with this individual who's my witness as to what is going to be covered here.
Okay, so let me ask this. This is my question. If questions were asked of this witness about these two incidences, is there an intent that she is going to or may say that these did not happen? Is there a potential for that?
Again, Judge, I'm not here for that. I was very clear to this individual that we are not going to discuss the facts of this case. So I'm not going to raise that issue. My question is simply, does she want the no contact switch to no harmful injurious contact? I have one question for her. That's it.
Well, I anticipate that there are going to be questions for her about whether or not she is afraid and about these two incidences. Ms. Ferguson?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Just one moment, Mr. Trevino. Your attorney probably doesn't want to speak.
Don't speak, Jonathan.
Yes.
Don't speak.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Can we have an attorney appointed for Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Cortez, we're going to take this up, but out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to have an attorney appointed for Ms. Gonzalez, and then we'll take up your motion. Because I don't know what questions are going to be asked of this witness, and I'd hate for us to start a hearing, and then in the middle of the hearing, it's, oh, she needs an attorney appointed to her. So just everyone give me a moment, and we're going to go off the record on that case. Brian Kimbrough,
Yes,
You're
Your
on
Honor,
mute.
here.
Yes.
On my case, this is a violation report that was filed a few days ago on my client, Mr. Juan Garcia, involving him getting his home monitoring device set up. He missed his appointment. He's on today. I did talk to the DA about it. They had no particular position one way or the other. He does have an affidavit on file of non-ownership, I believe. I have one if not, but I believe I've already filed it. He had a date, I think Friday and Sunday. He got 2 dates. He was confused because he got one date to go to one place, and then he was given a second date to go on I believe it was Sunday, to go to another location. And they were, I gather, as I understand it, they're 2 separate devices. So there were 2 separate dates, but he did not understand that. So he waited till he was going to try to clarify it, I guess, after Sunday to see where he was supposed to go. And the violation report got filed. So he is willing to set these up ASAP as soon as he gets, as soon as a date can be given to him, and we could have a deadline.
Just one moment. We're going to have pretrial services officer Zoom in to this meeting because this is his second violation. So we're going to have pretrial services officer Zoom in. And Ms. Ferguson, if you could.
Yes, ma'am.
Have the pretrial officer Zoom in on Juan Garcia, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. Let me see who is on the screen. Eduardo Jimenez, just give us a moment. We'll get a reset date for your client, John Rice. Ms. Ferguson will give you a month reset, but just give us a moment. She's on the phone.
Okay. And then there was Larry Campos with the MTR, Judge.
What is happening with Mr. Campos?
Well, we're ready to proceed with the MTR.
All right. Have you filled out the paperwork?
I'm sorry. No, they do the cert of appeal and the video conference.
Yes.
I did write Norma about what was going on. So,
all right, she'll get that to you.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Cornelius Cox?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, Judge. We conferred, Judge, and there was an issue with completing the discovery the last time we were here. And everything appears to have been uploaded. So presently, I have all the discovery.
Okay. All right, so state on this case, let me see my calendar. All right, I'm going to need the acknowledgement of discovery. I need that to be filed by August 30th. Are you able to have that done, State?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Defense, where do you see this case going?
Judge, that's a good one. I'm not clairvoyant, but I think that, I just think that it's a little too early to tell, Judge. It's a lot of discovery I need to get through with. I've only had the case since April.
April 9th.
April 9th, Judge. So I haven't had it 2 years like the state has had it. But so I would want, Judge, I don't need 2 years to get ready on it. but just,
a year and a half.
well, fourth, probably, that would,
Okay.
I want to be just as ready as they are when it's time to try it.
All right. All right, Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
I need a 30-day reset on Jonathan Yost.
Yes, ma'am. They can come back on the 16th, Judge, September 16th.
All right, we're going to come back on September 16th. On September 16th, I'm going to give you your plea deadline date. All right, and is this your client in the t-shirt?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if he has something other than the t-shirt, because that's not appropriate courtroom attire, especially a see-through t-shirt.
Okay. Well,
I'm
we'll rectify that, Judge.
All right, I'm sure a lot was paid for that because lately people are spending like $80 and $90 for a t-shirt, but it's just a t-shirt. So.
That's true, Judge.
All right.
I'll make that correction. Thank you, Judge.
All right, everyone, just give me one moment, please. Thank you. All right, Mr. Rice. John Rice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Rice, on your case, we're going to bring you back on September 16th. The state will have spoken to their complainant at that time, and they'll be prepared to tender an offer to your counsel, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you see.
Your Honor, may I please be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rice, did you need to speak with, I'm sorry, yes, Mr. Guerra?
Oh, I said I'll see you soon. I have a hearing next week in your court.
All right, see you then.
Thank you.
Mr. Rice, do you need to speak with your attorney anymore?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Norma, can you let them know 14-0 can go back, please?
You have a good day too, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
14-0 can go back.
All right, and Brian Kimbrough, the pretrial services officer, is here on your client, Mr. Juan Garcia. Where's Juan Garcia? Juan Garcia.
You should be in the waiting room.
No, there's no one in the waiting room.
Oh. Well, you want me to contact him? I gave him the.
Is your client?
He told me he was going to be in, so.
Was your client the older person who was on the screen?
Well, he's older. I'm not sure.
Is this him, the Galaxy J2? I'm going to spotlight him. Tell me, is that your client?
Well, I don't think we've ever met face to face.
That's him, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Taylor.
You're welcome.
All right, Taylor, defense counsel is telling me that his client had some confusion over the dates. What is the earliest day that we can set him up for the in-home breathalyzer?
He would have to contact Smart Start directly and ask them the earliest appointment that they have.
All right, so Mr. Kimbrough, what I want before your client leaves, I want to know what's the earliest date that Smart Start has, and he's having trouble logging in. You may want to call him because this is him, Galaxy J2. So I want to know what the earliest date it is for him to get this in-home breathalyzer.
Could I ask pretrial a question, Your Honor, real quick?
Sure.
Is it only one device or are there two devices?
There's 2 devices that he needs. We need him to come into our office and have the GPS monitor put on as well.
Okay, and as far as a date for that, when would be the date he would do that?
As soon as possible. Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Okay, so any day.
Yes.
All right, does anyone know why is he on GPS plus the breathalyzer? What has happened with him?
It was just ordered at magistration, Your Honor.
All right, that's something we need to take up because I don't understand why he's on partial house arrest plus an in-home breathalyzer.
I might be able to explain a little bit. What happened was we were here before, I think in February, on a violation report because he had not put in his affidavit of non-driving and hadn't gotten the ignition interlock. So I filed, after that hearing, I filed an affidavit and we had arrangements for him to get his in-home and everything. And then it turned out that his bondsman had gotten off his bond. And so I contacted the bondsman, he contacted him, and he was told, we'll reinstate the bond, no problem, don't worry about it. And as far as the dates go, I kind of lost track of the dates at that point because he'd been on a warrant. Well, I happened to call the end of last month, the court for some reason, and I asked about his court date, and they said, well, he's got a warrant. So I called him and he called the bondsman and they hadn't reinstated his bond. So they did reinstate his bond on, I think, August 2nd or August 3rd. And I think at that point is when the magistrate judge ordered the partial house arrest. But the reason that the warrant was issued was, and I can tell the court, was not his fault. The reason was because the bondsman failed to reinstate the bond. I don't know what their initial problem was. He had done everything they asked him to do. He does not have a warrant now, and he's never missed a court date.
All right, this is what I'm going to do, Ms. Vaughn. Here's your incentive, Mr. Garcia. You're going to be on full house arrest until you obtain that in-home breathalyzer. Taylor, he will be allowed to make his appointment and go to his appointment for the in-home breathalyzer, but that's all he's going to be allowed to do.
Yes, Your Honor.
And once he obtains the in-home breathalyzer, then GPS removal will be allowed.
Okay.
All right, if there's nothing else.
I just had a question, Your Honor. So if we set up an appointment right now for him to go in this afternoon or tomorrow, there isn't going to be time to set up the, I mean, you're saying that he's on full house arrest, i.e. you're telling him he can't leave his house until, we don't have to set
GPS
up the,
is stopped. So here's the thing. If he calls the in-home breathalyzer people and they say, we can see him on Friday, he's allowed to leave his house on Friday to go get that machine. And then once he gets that machine and it's properly installed, I'll allow for removal for GPS. But until that's installed, he is on full house arrest. And so there's his incentive. If he wants to be off of full house arrest, he'll get this, the monitor. If he doesn't, then he won't get it.
Your Honor, he's just not wearing the monitor currently.
So what is he on?
Nothing at this time. The violation was due to non-enrollment of the GPS monitor and the in-home.
All right, you're getting is the GPS available today?
Yes, ma'am.
You are getting the GPS today, Mr. Juan Garcia. If you do not get that GPS today, I'm going to get a violation report. And when I get that violation report, we're not going to have this face-to-face hearing. That's where we are. So I'm going to add on here that he's to have GPS installed today.
Your Honor, could you waive the fee on that? Because he's indigent.
All right, so what I'll do, I don't have any control over that. as far as the waiver of the fees, but I said the fees be waived and that he be placed on indigent status. They're going to send me a note saying that they can't, but that's where we are. So I'm saying GPS must be installed by August 11th, no later than 5 p.m. Here's the thing. If he can get the breath analyzer installed today, then he won't have to do the GPS. But one or the other is happening today. And if it doesn't happen today, Mr. Garcia, I'm going to receive another violation report and we will have a hearing while you're in custody. Do you need to speak with him, Mr. Kimbrough?
Yes, that might be a good idea.
You may need to speak with him on the phone because honestly, I don't know if he is hearing anything. He's staring off
I
into
know he's
space a
looking
little
up
bit.
in space. Yeah, I'll go ahead and call him. I got his number. I mean, I just talked to him a few minutes ago. So.
All right, thank you. Ms.
Thank
Vaughn,
you.
thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
So I'm excused, Your Honor.
No, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with Ms. Ferguson. Brian, if you could go to breakout room number 1, please.
Okay.
And you're excused, Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerome White, what is happening with Amy Barton? That's the agreement,
Judge.
is that correct?
Yeah, it's an agreement, Judge, and we're ready to proceed.
All right, if the clerks can bring me the paperwork on Barton, please. Who's the prosecutor on Barton?
Marcus.
All right, and then after this, we're going to take up John Kuntz's matter. All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 8341, State of Texas versus Amy Barton. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Jerome White for the defense.
And are you Ms. Barton?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Barton, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. All right, next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Amy Elizabeth Barton who was placed on deferred adjudication for the offense of theft under 2500 enhanced on February 19, 2020 for a term of 4 years and cause number 2019 CR 8341? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Condition number, from the First Amendment motion, condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Amy Elizabeth Barton, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer in person or by phone for the months of June, July, August, September, October, November, and December 2020 in violation 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the rest.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Barton, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge, we're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate and revoke and sentence her under 1244 to 43 days in the Bexar County Jail.
Is that the agreement?
That is, Your Honor.
Ms. Barton, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 43 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44, give you credit for any time served. Is this judgment satisfied?
It should
Yes,
be,
Judge.
Judge.
All right, the court will show that the judgment is satisfied. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Barton, here's my speech to you. You're at a crossroads in your life. How old are you?
43.
I'm sorry, how old?
43.
All right, you're 44 years old. You need to make a decision. Either you want to end up spending the rest of your life in and out of prison, in and out of the Bexar County Jail, which means someone's telling you what to do every single minute of your life, or either you want to make changes. If you don't, what's going to end up happening, you're going to look up, find yourself 60 years old, and you don't know where your life is spent, but you're going to know a majority of it was spent locked up. Okay? Don't be the person, when a new person comes into the jail or to the prison, don't be the person where they say, ask Grandma Barton how things are run, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Norman, can you let them know that L28 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
And,
And I'm gonna send
and
you
Judge, can Norma check to see if there's a hold?
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. You can discuss that there, Mr. White.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll send you a chat, Judge.
All right, thank you. Jerome, she'll do a chat, just stay in this room. John Koontz.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right. State, who would be handling this motion to withdraw?
What case is this, Judge?
It's Trey Duncan.
It's just a motion to withdraw, Hunter.
I mean, I can stand in for it, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Duncan, you need to show your video. There's an issue with your client, Mr. Koontz. His video is off and it doesn't show where there's audio available. So I don't know if you want to call him and talk to him about that.
Let me do that right now.
All right, thank you. Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Judge, I would just need to go into a breakout room with Larry Campos to go over the paperwork. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. Let me see. Oh, you can go back to number 9. Your client is waiting for you there. And Norman, do we have an attorney for Mr. On Trevino's, I'm sorry, on Cortez's case? All right, Norma, yes, that's fine. All right, Oscar Salinas on Paul Goki.
Yes, Judge. I think Mr. Goki wanted to go to a breakout room with his client.
All right, and who is his client?
It's Charles Ruiz, but he's under Helen Uregas.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 10.
So there's no, it just worked there.
Mr. Goki?
I am having trouble getting my mouse to unclick the mute and unmute.
All right, your client is waiting for you in number 10.
Okay, I'm trying to get this thing to operate. Thank you.
You're welcome. Norman, can I see you in breakout room number 1, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's the witness for Cortez? Fernando Cortez, who is your witness? All right, Mr. Cox, it's Maria Gonzalez. This is the person you will be representing. Do you need to speak with the state in defense first before you speak with her?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Joe Ray, if you'll go to breakout room number 1, and Fernando, if you will go to number 1, please, and Mr. Cox will meet you in breakout room number 1.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And then Ms. Gonzalez, we'll have you in 1 shortly when your attorney asks for you. All right, Trey Duncan, where are you? He's on the screen, but there is no video or audio. I don't know what to tell you. Let me see.
Let me try them again, Judge, and see Maybe he needs to log out and log back in.
Okay, let me see if he did that.
Actually,
Let me do that. I'm gonna remove him.
oh, there he is, Judge. There he is. There's his image.
Okay. All right, Mr. Duncan. I don't think
That
he
is-
can hear us.
I guess he has no audio.
No. And why is he sweating profusely? Is
I
it that
sent-
hot outside?
Sorry, Judge, to interrupt. I sent you a chat.
Yes, I see it. Thank you. I mean, it's hot in San Antonio, but it's not that hot.
He might have been working, Judge. I'm not sure.
What does his shirt say? I'm not built for something. I don't know. All right. Do you
Trey,
want
can you
us-
hear us? Trey Duncan, can you hear us?
Tell you what, I'm going to remove him, Mr. Coons, and then maybe when he logged back in, he'll have a better feed.
Okay.
All right, and everyone, I'm filling in for another judge as presiding. So there are people who will come in and out that I'll need to take care of. So I'm going to take a short break, probably maybe 2 to 5 minutes. So just give me a moment.
Okay, muted. All right. Okay.
All right, Mr. Cox, are you
All right.
ready to speak with with Maria
Yes, ma'am.
Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Maria Gonzalez, if you go to breakout room number 1. And John Kuntz, are you ready on Trey Duncan?
I am, Judge, and I think we have the technical issue sorted out.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cox, if you go to 1.
Hey, Judge, on my issue with Mr. Cox, he suggested maybe we could do it by proffer. That way it may go smoother and less likely to create a
Well, I mean, that's
significant-
something you'll need to confer with the state on, whether they want to proceed that way. So I'll send you all to breakout room number 2.
Well, we already talked about that, Judge. I don't believe the state had a problem with that.
All right, just give me one moment. Who is willing to stand in on this case with the motion to withdraw on John Kuntz?
Hunter, Judge.
All right, thank you, Hunter. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 6711.
That one did.
State of Texas versus Trey Duncan. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Hunter Morris for the state.
John Kuntz for Mr. Duncan.
And are you Trey Duncan?
Yes.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the defense has filed a motion to withdraw. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion to withdraw?
Yes, Judge.
All right, any objections to the defense motion to withdraw, state?
None, Judge.
All right, Mr. Duncan, your attorney has filed a motion to withdraw. Do you have any objections to the motion to withdraw?
No.
All right, then the court will grant that motion to withdraw. Mr. Duncan, are you going to hire an attorney?
I have to see.
No, it's not I have to see. It's either you're going to hire an attorney or not, because the court is not going to have this case just sitting here for a year or 2. So are you able to afford an attorney? And when I say you, I mean you. I don't mean your mom. I don't mean other relatives. I don't mean selling barbecue plates or anything like that. Do you personally have the funds to hire an attorney?
Yes.
So when will you be able to hire an attorney?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back on. Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure, ma'am. To be honest, I'm not sure. But to be honest, can I just get a court opponent, because I feel like a court opponent will be okay for this situation.
All right, well, here's the thing. You have to qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So are you employed?
Yeah.
That's either yes or no. Are you employed?
Oh, no.
So you don't have a job?
No.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see who's on the appointment list? Mr. Duncan is charged with murder.
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
All right, Mr. Duncan, you're not to leave the Zoom. Mr. Kuntz, your motion to withdraw was granted, so you are excused.
Thank you.
And Mr. Kuntz, did you receive discovery from the state on this case?
I do. And so whoever Mr. Duncan's new lawyer is, just have him contact me, and I'm more than happy to discuss and make copies and whatever they need.
All right, thank you. So Mr. Duncan, you're not excused. If you'll remain on the Zoom screen, we'll make sure that we have an attorney for you.
Okay.
All right, let me check my email. All right, Larry Campos, who are the prosecutors on that?
Was Marcus, I believe?
Yes, Judge.
¿En español?
Oh.
We're gonna take
Oh,
that
sí,
up.
sí, lo que usted me explicó. Sí, muy bien. No, no, está bien. Ahorita, por ahorita, está bien, gracias. Sí, sí.
Judge, I believe that's the background noise from Mr. Campos's position at the jail.
Sí, yo
We'll
sé.
take care of that.
Sí, sí, yo sé.
All right, the court is calling 2015 CR 11287, State of Texas versus Larry Campos. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Eduardo Jimenez.
All right, and are you Mr. Campos?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objection.
Mr. Campos, did you sign a document entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video? Did you understand it and did you review it with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Sí, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Larry Campos who was placed on deferred adjudication in cause number 2015 CR 11287 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on March 7, 2016 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Okay. Sí.
Condition
Yes, ma'am.
number 1, on or about the 8th day of May 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Larry Campos, committed the offense, deadly weapon in a penal institution in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, ma'am, but it was a pedicure.
No, Mr. Campos.
That's fine.
I'm not here to get into the facts of that yet. I'm just here
Okay,
to accept your plea of true or not true. And if your attorney
Yes, ma'am,
or
I'm
your
sorry.
state have questions and you want to ask some questions, you can, okay? So
Yes,
the
ma'am. Sorry
violation
about
of
that.
condition number 1, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court can find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, is there an agreement?
There isn't, Judge.
No, Judge. I just,
All right,
I'm sorry.
any witnesses that either party would like to call? State,
Sí.
None from the state.
defense?
Mr. Campos, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Campos, if you could raise your right hand for me.
Sí, sí.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the
Sí,
truth?
pero nomás dice
nothing but
que
the truth, so
estamos
help
en
you
un
God?
proceso de mis papeles. ¿Me entiendes?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Larry Campos.
All right, defense.
Mr. Campos, you understand you're facing the full range of punishment on the 2016 charge because of this new charge you picked up. But I promise you, you get to talk to the judge about the circumstances of the new charge.
Just a moment. Mr. Jimenez, if you could restate all of the last part, please. And Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Campos, I muted
ma'am.
you. If you could remain muted and unmute yourself when it's time for you to answer a question. We're receiving a lot of feedback on your end. I know it's not you, but go ahead, Mr. Jimenez.
Yes, so you're facing the full range of punishment, and but I promised you that I would give you a chance to address the court about the circumstances surrounding the new charge. That is the issue of the possession of allegedly possession of a deadly weapon in a penal institution. Could you please explain to the court what that object was and what you were using it for? Now you can unmute and speak to the court.
Okay, ma'am, I pedicure my feet. I got a toe that's it's shaped like a horseshoe, and it grows downward. And it was basically a pick from a paper clip to pick into my toe so it won't go inwards. There's nothing here to really address those kind of issues here in my dorm where I was at, and that's basically what I use it for. I pedicure my feet on the regular, and I left it clearly on my bunk. I didn't have any intention of hiding it. They found it because I didn't think anything of it as far as it being considered a deadly weapon, ma'am.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, State.
Mr. Campos, what did you say it was that you had created?
It was a pig for pedicuring my feet, my toes, because all we have are nail clippers, and my toe goes downwards. You know, it goes into my skin, and I have to pick it outwards in order to trim it.
So is it a sharp point at the end?
Yes, sir. I have to dig into the side of my big toe and downwards and pick upwards in order to lift it out, in order to be able to pull it off whenever it goes, you know, downwards. I do it about maybe once every 3 months.
Okay, and so you're telling the court that you weren't aware that you're not allowed to have sharp objects that you create?
I didn't realize it was about not even an inch long, and I didn't realize it would be considered a shank. Sir, I managed to go 42 years without ever coming to jail. This ain't my world, and I didn't think anything of it, and I didn't have any intention of hiding it. That's why they found it plain as day, you know.
Okay, and Mr. Campos, this is your third MTR, correct?
I have no idea at this point, sir. I've like I said, I've never been in trouble in my entire life. This is the first charge I've ever had, ever. And
what's the first charge?
The only charge I've ever had was the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Prior to that was making a fake inspection sticker like 10 years before that.
Okay, but since you picked up the ag assault, you picked up other offenses, correct?
I have a broken rib that would happen to me by police officers in here, and I had to hear that on my own. And whatever charges I have in here, it's based on the personnel that run this place, and I haven't made any attempt to prosecute or anything like that. I just want to get out of here. You know what I mean? I had young police officers that were deliberately harassing me when I was in FSP, and I was contained already in my own room, and I didn't want them to do it anyway. I just wanted to be left alone.
Mr. Campos, okay, you were placed on deferred in March of 2016, correct? Does that sound
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you had an MTR that the court heard in June of 2016 where you picked up
Yes.
number 1, correct?
Basically,
Mr. Campos, your attorney he'll give you an opportunity to explain. I'm just asking you yes or no questions, okay? You picked up a new offense, and that was on the first MTR, correct?
Yes, can you explain I mean, I've been locked up for a long time. I don't even know what it was for.
For ABI, family violence. Do you remember that?
Was that based on my first charge or what?
That's your second charge.
My wife called the cops on me second time on the first charges, which happened in 2015. Yes, 2016 was I had no harmful contact with her, and we got into it, and I no longer communicate with her. My life is over with her.
Okay, and so the court continued you after that, and then you picked up another motion to revoke, correct?
Can you explain which charge is that?
In June 2020, you were before the court again because of some violations of your community supervision. Do you remember that?
I don't, sir. I've been, like I said, this place robs you of memory, and I have no idea. I've been dry timing my time in here, and I'm trying to get out of here as soon as I can.
Okay, and are you aware of your July 2020 case, your harassment, where you spit in an officer's face?
I did not spit at him. I had a broken rib, and I was mending a broken rib. I was completely naked in FSP, and they were harassing me. And the particular guard that went in at that particular moment, I didn't realize that they switched guards, switched shifts, or whatever. But the previous guards were harassing me, and I was yelling out at them because there's nothing I can do, basically just to leave me alone. I literally have a broken rib right now, flipped over, like The Price is Right, you know, because of these guards and the harassment, the brutality that goes on in here. And I'm not trying to make that an issue right now. I'm just trying to get out.
Okay, no further questions, Judge.
All right, defense.
Mr. Campos, would you please describe what you said that you have a broken rib from the guards. What exactly happened from your point of view?
I've been when I turned myself in first of all from being on the run, and it all started when I turned myself in. They left me locked up in booking for 5.5 hours, handcuffed. My hands were purple. I had no circulation, and they put me in FSP because I was acting out in anger on the brutality and tactics that these people have here. And I got harassed by they came in. I don't know, they kept taking me from different dorm to different dorm, and one of the certs punched me 3 times in my ribs. The third time that he punched me, he flipped my rib over. I literally have a flipped over rib. The only way I can explain it is like the Price is Right. It's like shaped like a U. And from there on, I was completely naked. They left me naked with no blanket or nothing in FSP for days on end. And I basically was acting out to leave me alone, basically just give me my tray and that's it. And like I said, I've been brutally harassed by these guards, and I'm not trying to make any case on it. I'm just basically letting y'all know that the tactics that these men using here is inhumane, and I'm like I said, man, I've never been in jail in my 42 years. Never been in jail. I was going to art school for game art and design, model citizen practically, man, and I in that situation.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Here's my question. Number one, what was the deadly weapon? Was the deadly weapon a paperclip? Does anybody know? Does anybody have the answer to that? What was the deadly weapon? Does anybody want to ask Mr. Campos?
That was going to be my next question, Your Honor.
All right, so what was the deadly weapon?
But Mr. Campos, so this is your attorney, and I'm asking you to please tell the court what object did you find that you were able to mold into this device for picking your ingrown toenail? Was it a paperclip? You please describe what you were able to mold into this device.
It was a piece of stem from the batteries that they sell us in commissary. It was inverted outwards in order to pick my toes, basically. It was the battery.
All right, Mr. Campos, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is what I want everyone to do. I want everyone to take a deep breath. Mr. Campos, I want you to listen to the question that's asked of you. And if you could please just answer the question that's asked of you. So my question is, what was the deadly weapon? Because I'm hearing it was a paperclip. Now I'm hearing it's not a paperclip, it's from a battery. So what was the deadly weapon?
I'm trying to describe to you. It's like a paperclip, basically.
No, I don't want it's like a paperclip. What is it? Where does it come, Mr. Campos? Stop.
It comes from the battery. It comes from a
Thank you.
AAA
Next
battery.
question, Mr. Jimenez.
No further questions, Judge.
Anything from the state?
No, Judge.
All right, has anyone received the report on this new number 1?
Judge, we have it in e-discovery, but it looks like it wasn't scanned incorrectly, so the narrative is missing. There is a picture of the object that I could submit to the court if defense has no objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, if that could be submitted, then that would be State's Exhibit number 1, which is a picture of the what's been described as the object that is alleged to have been a deadly weapon. And while we're waiting for that, Mr. Campos, did you complete your parenting classes? Yes or no?
I wasn't aware you even had any parenting classes. I don't know if that's correct on my.
No, that is correct because I ordered it. You were here in this court on June 16th for a violation of conditions 2, 2, 2, and 2. I denied the motion extended you for a year, included ISP supervision, proof of employment within 30 days of release from SATA, parenting classes with compadre y compadre, and waive community service if you complete trade school. So again, my question is, did you complete your parenting classes? Yes or no?
Not that I know, ma'am. I'm sorry. I
No,
was
it's
being
like you
harassed.
either know, no, stop. You either know if you did parenting classes or not. Did you complete parenting classes? Yes or no?
No, ma'am. I don't know why I need parenting classes. I'm not here for, I don't, like I said, man, this ain't my world. I've never been locked up before, and you can leave me to water. You tell me that's water, I'll drink it. You know?
All right, so state has admitted into evidence state's exhibit number 1. I'll share screen. So this is the object. I know the vision, it appears to be bad, but that's the object, correct?
Mr. Campos, the judge is asking you a question. Would you please answer?
This is the object, Mr. Campos?
You're on mute, Mr. Campos.
Can you
Is
hear
that
me?
the object, yes or
Can you hear
no?
me? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there any other questions from either side?
Not from the defense, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
All right, any other witnesses, defense or state?
No.
Judge.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're asking that you grant the motion and revoke his supervision.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Continuation, Your Honor.
All right, the court will grant the motion, find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State, how much time are you asking for?
4 years.
Defense, what are you asking for?
Well, we were asking for continuance, Your Honor. 4 years is fine.
Okay, the court has granted the motion. The court is finding Mr. Campos guilty. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 2 years. The state is requesting 4. Defense, are you requesting 4 as well?
Not requesting 4. I was not opposing the state's request, but we will ask for.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
We will ask for the minimum, Your Honor. The minimum.
All right. So why should I give him the minimum?
Because the defendant crafted an object that had a specialized purpose. It wasn't meant for a traditional deadly weapon use, which is to cause injury if needed, or defense, or to cause injury. It was simply a device to help him with his hygiene, and they had no substitute product, according to his testimony in the jail.
What has he done since he's been on probation? Mr. Campos, have you completed anything while you've been on probation?
Yes, I was able to waive all my probation officer waived all my classes because I did 6 months in ISF.
No, that's not why your classes are waived. You did ISF because you violated your probation. You violated your probation, Mr. Campos. So I sentenced you to ISF. So what have you done that hasn't been a result of a violation of probation?
I don't understand the question, ma'am. I'm sorry.
What have you completed? ISF, you had no choice.
Violent intervention, my violent intervention program.
What else?
That's all I was required. As far as my community service, the church that I was going to, I only got so many places I could go to do my community service. It's been a while since I've been locked up. I don't know. I'm not aware of how many hours I completed, but I was, doing them when I could. I had to work out there in the world.
State, what is Mr. Campos's criminal history?
Judge, all I can see is his in-county history, and prior to the ag assault case, he only had the fake license case. Since then, he picked up the ABI family that was TIC'd in the first MTR, harassment of public servant that's currently open that I questioned, and then this deadly weapon in a penal institution. That was it.
All right, the court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. You'll receive credit for any inpatient treatment and credit for any type of lockdown facility. And Mr. Campos, I'll give you credit for inpatient treatment if you successfully completed it. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Campos, you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand?
Not quite, ma'am. Like I said.
All right, you can't appeal the fact that you cannot
Oh,
appeal
no, I'm
the
not going to
fact that
contest
you
your
are on deferred adjudication, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You
I'm not
have a
going to contest
limited
it.
right to appeal as it relates to the allegations in the motion.
No, ma'am. I just want to proceed forward.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Campos. Norma, can you let them know that 14N can go back, please?
All right, thank you for your time.
All right.
All right, and then Mr. Cortez.
Thank you, Judge. I'm about to catch an aneurysm here. My brain is going to explode.
Well, I hope it doesn't explode. And if it does explode, I hope there's somebody at the office to help you. But my understanding is with a brain aneurysm, there's pretty much no help except for a miracle.
Well,
I would not wish that on anyone, but.
After watching what just happened right now, I'm going to calm myself.
All right, anyone else? Who is the prosecutor on this case?
Joe Ray, Judge.
Is your client Jonathan Trevino?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Cox, you're here?
That's correct, Judge. And I'm at an opportunity to meet with the witness.
Yes, we're going to go on the record, Mr. Cox. Just give us a moment. We're back on the record in 2021 CR 6414, State of Texas versus Jonathan Trevino. We have began this hearing, but out of abundance of caution, the court asked that Ms. Maria Gonzalez be appointed an attorney, and that attorney appointed to her as a witness would be Mr. Cornelius Cox. Mr. Cox, did you have a chance to confer with both the state and the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
And have you had a chance to confer with your client who's a witness in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are both parties ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense, the witness that you had called was Ms. Gonzalez. I believe, Brenda, Ms. Gonzalez was already sworn in, is that correct? That's okay, I'll swear her in again. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you could state your name for the record, please.
Maria Gonzalez.
All right, Mr. Cortez.
Yeah, I believe we're going to proceed by proffer, and I believe that's my understanding, which was suggested by Mr. Cox, and I don't think anybody objected to that. And we're simply here to change the no contact order to no harmful and injurious contact as it relates to Maria Gonzalez. I believe that is what she desires. This involves the future. I don't see that it's necessary to get into the facts of the case, which may create conflicts and potential criminal matters as it relates to the alleged victim. I'm simply trying to move forward with regards to the no harmful or injurious contact instead of the no contact order, Judge. And I believe it is the desire of Ms. Maria Gonzalez to have that order changed from no contact to no harmful or injurious contact.
All right, State.
Yes, Judge, we weren't opposed to the proffer because if that's the complainant's wishes, that's her wishes. We are opposed to amending the conditions, mainly because of the nature of this offense. And at the same time, the defendant has several other pending cases, one being in the charge for shooting another complainant, which would be an ag assault with a deadly weapon, a possession of a prohibited firearm, which is short barrel shotgun, and last month picked up for possession of meth. So for those reasons, Your Honor, we believe safety is still a concern and are opposed to it.
Right.
And-
Yes, Mr. Cox?
Yes, ma'am, if I may, Judge. I had an opportunity, like the court indicated, I spoke to both the prosecution and the defense, and I had an opportunity to meet with Ms. Gonzalez. My position and her position that it doesn't appear that she has any apprehension about the defendant being able to, and wanting the court to drop the no contact order and make it a no harmful or injurious contact. It appears, from my understanding, that she's see him as a family. I think they want to continue to try to work their issues out. We're not speaking towards these other cases. We're confining this to just a situation between those two. She has no apprehension whatsoever in terms of allowing her to have future contact with the defendant, and that's pretty much her wishes, Judge.
All right. Cause number 2021 6414, where the defendant is charged with the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. What's the alleged offense date on that case?
For you, Judge. It's 6/17/2020.
And then CM number 087625, what's the alleged offense?
6/25/2021.
No, CM 087625, what's the offense?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, you said 67/6/25?
No, CM 087625, what is the charge?
It is continuous family violence.
And what's the alleged offense date?
6/25/2021.
All right, and does he have any other criminal history or allegations?
Yes, Judge. The possession controlled substance penalty group 1 to 4 grams of offense date 7/17/2021, and a possession of a prohibited firearm short barrel on 1/21/2021.
That's his only cases?
Is only pending cases, Judge. There are some that are closed out from 2017 and 16.
All right, and those closed out cases, were those convictions or they were just dismissed?
I'm looking right now, but I believe they were dismissed.
All right, then I'm not gonna, I won't consider cases that have been dismissed. All right, defense, it is your motion, so I'll give you final argument.
Thank you, Judge. It looks like Mr. Trevino doesn't have any prior convictions. These are pending cases. I think Mr. Cox spoke very clearly and as it relates to this motion to change from no contact to no harmful injurious contact, which is simply about future events, what's going to go forward. And Mr. Cox spoke very clearly as to the client desires that relates to going forward. And we would ask the court to grant such a motion, as the alleged victim has no apprehension or fear of contact with Mr. Trevino and wants to move forward with their family unit.
All right, do they have any children together?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Was there something else, Mr. Cox?
Oh, no, ma'am. I just want to make sure that they have no family. They're a family, but they don't have any kids between the two of them.
All right, thank you. All right, then, if there's nothing else, the court is ready to make its ruling. In cause number 2021 CR 6414 and CM number 087625, the court will deny the motion. All right, if there is nothing else, Mr. Cortez, do you have a upcoming court date for this case or no?
I hope I do, Judge, and I would like to accelerate these settings. If I have to, I'll file speedy trial motions on all of these cases. I want to go first, and I'll volunteer to do so.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, do you have a court date on Jonathan Trevino that's coming up in 2021 CR 6414?
Give me just a moment, Judge. The last court setting was August 3rd, Judge.
All right, do we have a new date for him?
I can set it right.
Okay. And State, I'm assuming you've already tendered an offer, is that correct or no?
I believe last setting we did, Judge, on the continuous.
All right, so have you had tendered an offer on this aggravated assault case?
I don't believe so.
All right, so Norma, this is what Norma, this is the date I want then. Put this at the end of August and state at that time, I'm gonna expect you to have tendered an offer to defense. And then defense, I'll set a plea deadline date and then your trial date.
Judge, I don't know if this will help, and I certainly don't want to waste the state's time with this. Whatever they offer me, I'm going to reject it. I want the trial setting.
So
we can confer right now. No, I don't mind conferring right now.
We're off the record. So what you're telling me, if the state were to offer you a Class C, you're not accepted and your client not accepted it. I'm not saying the state's going to offer that, but if they were going to offer that, you're telling this court you're not accepting it.
Judge, if they're going to offer me a Class C on an aggravated assault, I think I have a greater chance of winning the lotto. But certainly, if they want to offer me that right now, I'll accept it. That's not going to happen.
That's what I mean. So don't ever say that I want to accept anything because we don't know. I don't know what the offer is. So
well, I want to stay within the realm of reality, Judge.
No, that has been reality. That has happened before.
Not to me.
But it has happened before.
Maybe we can confer right now, Judge, and see if they want to offer me this Class C right now. I'll take it right now.
No, let me just tell you what we're going to do. What we are going to do is this case is going to be set at the end of August. States, you're going to tender an offer at the end of August. Then we come back. I'm going to give you a plea deadline date. And then after that, trial date. So Norma, can I please have a date at the end of August?
August 31st, Judge.
All right, see you August 31st.
I'm excused, Judge.
Yes, you are, Mr. Cox. Thank you so much. And Mr.
No
Cox,
problem.
thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Mr. Cox, thank you for keeping this as a Monday. I mean, as a Wednesday, not trying to turn it into a Monday. Everybody wants it to be Monday today.
No, Judge. I keep patience in my pocket. I bring a lot of them in every pocket. I got some patience, so I'm fine. Thank you.
And make sure that Ms. Ferguson gives you that appointment order. And Mr.
Yes,
Trevino, there's a no contact order with Ms. Gonzalez. What that means is that you cannot have any contact with her. And that means you can't even have contact with her through third parties. Do you understand? I'm sorry, you need to unmute.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Your attorney has left you here alone. So I'm not going to say anything or ask you anything about your case, but yeah. So anyway, we're going to come back on August 31st and I'll speak to your attorney about leaving this Zoom. And as a matter of fact, Norma, could you have Mr. Fernando Cortez come back to the Zoom, please?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Gonzalez, you're excused. Mr. Trevino, I'm going to have you wait,
Okay.
and then I'll give you your instructions.
All right.
Tony Hernandez, it's Monday on a Wednesday. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Cornelius let me borrow some of that patience, Judge.
Hey, I appreciate that. So are you ready?
My client and I had quite a lengthy conversation in the breakout room. So, Judge, I believe we have an agreement on this case. I'd submitted some documents to Mr. Hunter to review that my client wanted the court to review also.
Okay. So are we proceeding with the motion to revoke?
I believe we are, Judge. I wanted to email you those documents if Mr. Morse doesn't have any objection to those.
Okay, we shall see.
What email address would I send that to, Judge?
Oh, if you just send it to Hunter or forward it to me.
Okay,
he'll
yeah,
include you in the
I sent
email.
them to him already.
All right, and Paul Goki, let me see if he's still in the breakout room. Paul Goki, what is happening with your client?
I am having trouble with these switches down here, Your Honor, when you address me.
Oh, that is okay.
They're not reliable. When you first came on, I could not get them to work for beans. So let me apologize for my appearance and my speech. I'm going through some elaborate dental stuff that's leaving me swollen and sore. So we are here. If I could go into a breakout room with Oscar Salinas real briefly, I believe we have an agreement.
All right, Mr. Salinas, if you will go to breakout room number 6, please.
Thanks, Judge.
Brenda, is today Wednesday? Or is it Monday? And Norma said that we had a short docket today. Feels like there are like 90 people on this docket. I don't know.
Those are the worst days.
Yeah. All right, Abel Dominguez. All right, Mr. Goki, you're back.
There, it's working.
Yes.
Yes, I am back, ma'am. How are you?
Right.
We have an agreement.
All righty, what is the agreement? Are you
5
guys
years.
getting paperwork together?
He asked me when I wanted to do it, and I said, whenever the court would do it, can I get a setting for a plea and get the documents sent to me that can be executed?
Yeah, let's do it now. You're here, the state's here, the client's here. Let's take care of it now. Okay.
My preference, perhaps by being old-fashioned, my preference is to methodically go through it with my client in his presence and his mother's presence, because he is unfamiliar with the system, and I would like to be able to answer all of his questions in a manner when I'm best able to communicate, which is a difficult time right now.
Okay, not to be rude, but how old is he?
How old is he?
Yes.
Would you state your age for the court?
Mr. Ruiz, how old are you?
48.
All right, so I mean, he's 48. I don't know if he really needs his mother. I mean, everyone needs their mom. I don't know if she's, knows the system any better. I mean, maybe she knows the system better than he does. I don't know.
I treat concerned mothers delicately, and it's my experience that which I communicate to my client is not necessarily well communicated to their mothers by them. I can communicate it better. And since I dealt with the both of them and she wants to understand this, that's why I make that request, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate moms. I think everybody can tell you on the Zoom that I think moms are great. So we can recall this week.
I'm in surgery Thursday and in another court Friday.
Could it be recalled for next Tuesday, Judge? I'll be back from paternity leave on that day.
That would work for me as well.
All right, Norma, are we able to recall Ruiz for the 16th? I'm sorry, the 17th? And it will
Yes,
be in the
ma'am.
afternoon.
It would have to be in the afternoon.
So we can do Monday in the morning or the 17th in the afternoon. And that will be at 2:30.
The 17th of August in the afternoon at 2:30 should work very well for me, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you all then at 2:30. Is this plea going to be taken by Zoom, or is your client going to be present in the courtroom?
I will be taking it by Zoom. If the court will allow him to take it by Zoom, I think it's all the safest in this environment, but we're at the court's direction in that regard.
No, it's just that some people are unable to Zoom and do paperwork. Mr. Salinas, yes?
Oh, just the only thing, it's a time only offer. So
All right, so is he going into custody the same day?
that's my understanding.
All right, then he'll need to be in the courtroom, Mr. Goki.
And yes, ma'am, I should add that he could be trusted to turn himself at the court's direction. He has no criminal history, no violations of bond.
All right, so Mr. Ruiz, you'll need to be in the court on August 17th at 2:30, okay?
Sorry about that, Judge. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you then. So it'll be 2:30 in court. And Mr. Goki, if you have the paperwork done before then, we won't have to do paperwork in the courtroom, but if it's not done before then, let us know because it'll need to go to a different email address. It'll need to go to the courtroom's email address.
I can assure you it would be done by then. And may I ask the court for some sentencing practice guidelines as you do them? And it's just a quick question.
Yes.
I am used to various types of plea recommendations, recommendations of straight time, recommendations of time with recommendations of community supervisions of various sorts. And then I'm used to recommendations of time and in opposition to the court, in opposition to the defendant's applications for community supervision.
Well, my understanding, this is straight time. Is this going to be an
is.
application? Okay.
It is, ma'am, but it brings about this question because it figured into my analysis. Okay. And my question is, when you receive a plea in which a straight time sentence is given to you, but the defendant applies for community supervision of a type, okay, to where the court makes that decision, do you accept or reject the applications, or in that process, do you accept or reject the applications and consequently lower the time recommendation? Or do you get recommendations of so many years as a cap, and then you make a decision whether to hit that cap or go some more underneath it? Pardon me.
All right. So let me explain the way I do it.
Yes, ma'am.
I take every sentencing, if it's an agreed sentence, I take everything on a case-by-case basis. I review the stipulations. If it's a cap offer where the state is saying, for example, hypothetically, a cap of 12 opposed, then that means that they're opposed to a person who's accused applications. those persons have to appear in court because I'm waiting to hear evidence and I don't know. I don't have any predetermination of whether I'm going to grant a defense's motion for deferred adjudication or community supervision. So I listen to all the evidence that's presented and make a decision. When it's a cap, let's say it's a cap of 10, but there are no applications. I still have the defendant or accused person appear in the courtroom. I don't know if I'm going to sentence that person to 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. I wait to hear all the evidence and then make a decision at that point. So in my courtroom, I don't make a decision. I don't have a predisposition, anything like that. It's not like the Minority Report with Tom Cruise. I don't know beforehand. I'm just listening to all the evidence and making a decision based upon the evidence that I hear.
Yes, and so more specifically, you made the distinction being a recommendation of time, but you also talked about a cap, okay? And so when there's not a cap, it's a recommendation of time and an application, and you deny the application. Do you impose the time that was recommended if it's not a cap, or will you sometimes lower the time that's recommended, whether it's a cap or not?
Sometimes I've lowered the time that's recommended because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I do what is fair and what is just. So if you're coming to me for a sentence, I'm doing what's fair and what I believe is what's fair and what's just.
Okay, that answers my question. And I thank you for taking that time. You recognize I didn't have that much sentencing experience in your court because you've taken the bench recently. So I am now educated. I appreciate it.
All right. And you can always watch on sentencings on YouTube. It's out there for everyone to see.
I'm typically involved in so many others. I don't have.
Thank you. Have a good one. We will see you on August 17th.
Yes,
Mr. Ruiz, you'll need to appear in person at 2:30, okay?
2:30. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you. All right, Mr. Cortez, before you abruptly left, Jonathan Trevino, you're not allowed to have any contact with the complainant in this case. Could you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to have any contact. That means that no Instagram, no Facebook, no phone calls or anything of that nature. And you're not to make contact through third parties. So you can't have your friend contact her or anything of that nature. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then you're excused.
Judge, just to clarify that, I had already instructed the client precisely on those issues. That's what no contact means. That's what I told you.
Yeah, well, some people have a different idea of what no contact means.
That's why
Sometimes people think,
explain to the judge,
yeah,
because you're right. Sometimes they don't understand it. And I let them know no contact means no contact of any type whatsoever, ever.
yeah. Well, now he's doubly clear. You're all excused. Are you ready on this, Barry, Tony?
I am, Judge. I don't know if Hunter had a chance to look at the documents I'd sent him.
I did. I've looked them over.
All right, is this going to be an agreement or no?
It's an agreement, Judge.
It's an agreement, Judge.
All right, is it a, oh, well, that means that it's probably agreement to continue. We're going to proceed.
Great.
Brenda, I'm keeping this as a Monday. I'm joking. It's Wednesday and I'm keeping it as a Wednesday. Days can only get better. I mean, it can only get better, Tony.
That's what we thought at the last COVID.
Well, you know what, Tony? I think each day and each time is just an opportunity for a day or an hour to be better than the last hour or day. So, all right, the court is calling.
I hope and pray you are correct, Judge.
Yes, court is calling 2019 CR 10992, State of Texas versus Allison Deanne Berry. Can I have parties announced for the record, please? For the state,
Tony Morris.
for the defense?
Tony Hernandez on behalf of Ms. Berry.
All right, and are you Miss Berry? Okay, I'm gonna need you to unmute for me, Miss Berry.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Berry, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Are you the same Allison Deanne Berry who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 10992 for the offense of possession of controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on February 11, 2020 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
State?
Yes, Judge. In the amended motion, on or about the 17th day of March. Hold on, excuse me. I think this is the wrong entity. One moment. On or about the 8th day of May 2020 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Allison Deanne Berry did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely opiate, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
Your Honor, I plead true.
All right, state.
State would waive and abandon the remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Berry, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
I believe so, Judge. My understanding is that she is currently getting treatment. Is that correct, Mr. Hernandez?
It is correct.
And how long has she been getting treatment?
She's been getting treatment since shortly after she stopped reporting back in July of 2020.
And is that at the Oxford House?
It's at the Oxford House, and she's also, well, Judge, I can give the court an idea of what she's done. Judge, she was in a rather abusive relationship, and she was finally able to get out of that. She went to Haven for Hope to detox. She then went to a sober living house, Blue House, that was run by her NA sponsor. She was in that facility, and then she went to an inpatient program at Haven for Hope. Straight out of Haven for Hope, she went to the Oxford House. There's a number of letters written on her behalf from the Oxford House, and she's also she's doing extremely well there. She's a secretary on their regional board, and she is a president of her home there. She has also been receiving both trauma therapy, physical therapy, and drug treatment through outpatient treatment through Center for Healthcare Services. And we've provided the court with reference letters in all these regards. We don't know if the court remembers Ms. Berry from the sentencing. Ms. Berry wanted to let the court know what she looked like before sentencing and what she's looked like. She's done extremely well, Judge. She stopped reporting. That's absolutely true. But she has done extremely well on her own, getting help. And we're asking the court to continue her on that program. She's done more than I've seen in any recent memory, Judge, by any addict recognizing their issues and their limitations and getting help.
All right, and the exhibits that you've submitted, are you asking, that you've given to the court, are you asking that they be submitted into evidence?
Not necessarily, Judge. Ms. Berry just wanted to show the court and with its trust through confirmation or verification, and she wanted the court to show that she can verify what she's saying that she's done. and wanted the court to know what her before and after photos look like.
No, I
we
think
just wanted.
her current appearance looks so much fresh. Her eyes are clear. I'm able to, she is present. So yes, I see
Judge.
great improvement.
And Judge, she is doing so well that, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Back to your question, Judge. The agreement would be to ask the court to deny the MTR, alter and amend the conditions to include supportive outpatient treatment, weekly reporting for 60 days, and continued participation at the Oxford House.
Okay. All right, can I see defense and state in a breakout room, please? If I could see, Tony, if I could see you in breakout room number 1.
Certainly.
What was that? It's like my dog.
All right, Brenda, we're back on the record. Okay. All right, Ms. Berry, I appreciate all the hard work you've done. You do. I was telling your defense counsel in the breakout room, you look completely different. Your beauty is shining through. The beauty in your eyes and everything is shining through. So I do appreciate and note that the hard work that you did. So sometimes I always tell people treating yourself right is a birthday present to yourself and a gift to yourself. So you got to treat your body and everything right, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to deny the motion. I'm going to let her remain at Oxford House. She's to continue all her treatment with Center for Healthcare Services. You're to continue with the outpatient treatment that you're going to be going on. And could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I see in the letter that they want you to go to a conference that's in Washington, D.C.
Yes, Your Honor.
And would you like to go to that?
I would love to go to that.
All right, Washington, D.C. is so beautiful, Brenda. I
I've never
think
been there.
I've only been like twice. So you'll have to take photos. I'm going to allow you to go as a part of the treatment, because I know the letters that I've read that they said that you've been an example for others. So I'm going to allow you to go to Washington, D.C. on the condition that you give photos back to us. We'll travel through you. But
Yes,
when you
Your Honor.
make sure you follow all of the COVID guidelines. All right, and I'm going to do 60 days of weekly report. That can be by Zoom. And when you come back from Washington, D.C., just so that you can make sure, you know, sobriety has to be at the forefront of your mind, there's going to be a UA for you when you come back, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So other than having this motion to revoke out there, how has your life been?
Oh, wow. Like, I'm going to stay out of a relationship for sure. My relationship with my higher power has been really strong, and I'm changing everything. I'm doing everything differently. So I don't know what I was thinking when I walked into Bexar County and told them that I was wanted, but I knew it was the right decision.
No, that's good. And you know, my rule, because you've been missing for a while, everybody knows my rule now with relationships. Don't get into a relationship unless you get an orchid and that orchid survives for a year.
Okay,
So
those are harder.
it has to bloom, it has to flourish, but it has to be for a year. Then you may be ready for a relationship.
Your Honor, we actually have orchids in our house at the Oxford House.
Okay, but those don't count as your relationship orchids.
No.
All right, is there anything else from the state or the defense?
Nothing from the state other than nice job and keep up the good work.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you.
Judge, she was supposed, because of the violation, you had asked that she sign amending conditions for Safe P. Can we hold that in abeyance?
Yes, we'll hold that in abeyance. All right, so Safe P is going to be held in abeyance, Ms. Berry. Here's the thing, when you're on probation, communication is key. Like you got to stay in contact with your probation officer, because honestly, I received a report on you and it was, she's going to Safe P. And the reason why it was she's going to Safe P is because I didn't have any of this information and probation didn't have any information. Okay?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, Rebecca, does she need anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, and thank you for making this, you've turned this back into a Wednesday. I appreciate that, Ms. Berry. Yes?
Well,
Does she need a separate motion to travel, or is the court granting her that permission from the bench?
Yes, I've granted her permission to travel to DC. They'll send me something to sign. Yes, Ms. Berry?
Your Honor, I just wanted to let you know that it was your courtroom and it was your lenient. It was you that helped me see that I needed to make changes in my life. And I just want to tell you thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
I have a lot of respect for you.
Oh, thank you. You just made it. You doubly made it. Brenda, she's just put the cherry on top of the sundae. Thank you so much. They'll probably be releasing you from the jail, I would say, probably at midnight. Hopefully it will be sooner than that. But Tony, if you could make sure that she is released.
I will do.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with probation. Tony, if you could go to number 1, and Miss Berry, if you'll go to number 1, and Rebecca will meet you all in number 1 and go over conditions.
Thank you. Have a great day.
And Miss Berry, oh, you're welcome. And Miss Berry, if something happens and you can't Zoom, then you'll need to report in person, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I hope you find your puzzle piece.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, Honor. May I be excused?
Yes. Abel Dominguez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
It's my first time before you, but I'm making an appearance on behalf of my son, Abel Aaron Dominguez.
Awesome. So
He's
we're
in a
just
different courtroom. He's got 2 or 3 cases going right now. So
all right. We're
he's
just
making an announcement. I'm reading over notes here. That's all I have. On April Sanchez.
yes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with Meredith McIntyre, because we're trying to figure out what is happening with Miss Sanchez. So let me send you to breakout
Yes, Judge.
number 2.
Meredith McIntyre. All right.
All right, Norma, do we have an attorney for Mr. Duncan?
Yes, ma'am. He's on the 379 right now. He'll be right over in just a few minutes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Second. Just a second. Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan,
Yes, I was on mute on the phone. I'm sorry.
why are you smoking on this Zoom? Put that cigarette out. Otherwise, you're going to appear in the 187. Do you understand?
No, I don't have no cigarette lit, ma'am.
Put the cigarette, would you have that cigarette out in the courtroom? No. The only reason why I'm not having you come to the 187 district court right now is because you don't have an attorney.
Yes, ma'am. I never lit the cigarette, ma'am. I'm not smoking right now.
Judge or Norma, are y'all available?
Just one moment, Hunter.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, and Hunter?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, who did you need?
Mr. Tallarico, I believe, is in the courtroom or is on his way. What email should I send it to for him to get his paperwork?
Oh, if you'll send it to Deputy Laura.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Judge.
And everyone, just give me a short break. As I said, I'm presiding judge as well. Hi, Mr. Dominguez. Mr. Dominguez Senior.
Good morning again, Your Honor.
Oh, good morning. So is there any updates on Miss Sanchez? Is the issue that they haven't picked her up, or has the warrants been lifted? Does anyone know?
Yes, Judge. I just talked to Regina, the woman that zoomed in that day.
Yes.
When we had the hearing, and the warrants are no longer the issue. The issue is just that they were not able to keep a bed open for that long. And so now she has to re-verify that they do have a bed available from her. So she has a call in to somebody, and once they call her back to verify, then they can go arrange to pick her up. So she still is at the Bexar County Jail.
All right. So did they give you, Meredith, like some sort of time frame?
I tried to get a time frame. She seems to think that the woman will call her back today and then she'll know, but I don't know. I don't know about whether or not there is a bed available, since we took us a while to figure out this warrant issue.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do then. We're going to recall it back. I'm going to see about, we'll recall it in maybe 3 weeks' time, and we'll see where we are with the bed. And then if the bed is not available by that time, I'll see about referring her to felony drug court and see if they have room for her. So Norma, on April Sanchez, can we get a 3-week reset?
Yes, ma'am. We can come back on September 8th.
All right, so we're going to come back on September 8th. And Mr. Dominguez, if you could let your son know, if he could get in touch with her to let her know that we're going to see where we are on September 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
And just let her know we can't officially put her on the docket, because sometimes when we do that, then it shows that a person has a court date, and whatever facility is going to pick them up, they don't pick them up because it shows that they have a court date pending.
Yes,
So,
I understand.
but we'll keep tabs on her, and we'll do September 8th. And then if for some reason they don't accept her, or they say the bed wait is too long, I'll refer her to drug court.
Okay, very well.
Thanks for zooming in. Good seeing you.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to see you, and first time in front of you, like I said.
All right. Well, you've made it a pleasant Wednesday.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Take
All
care.
right. Have a good
Thank you,
one.
Meredith.
All right, Rebecca, on April Sanchez, we're gonna check on September 8th to see if they have a bed available for her at that other facility. And then if they don't, or if they say it's gonna take a long time to get a bed, then we'll see if felony drug court can accept her.
Okay.
And Norma, do we have an update on the psychological evaluation on Mr. Stribling?
I'll check on that, Judge.
Thank you. And we need Jose Rocha for Jesse Garza.
Yes, ma'am.
And to the state on Laurel Peterson. That's going to be reset. Defense counsel had to unexpectedly leave the county for family medical issues, I believe.
We had also been talking about it. I think it's going to be worked out anyway, Judge.
Okay. So Norma will give us a date on that, and we'll take it off the contested docket. Brenda, should I say it? I don't think we're going to have to come back this after. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I put it in the universe.
Judge, I have a question for you real quick.
Yes.
Are you able to jump into room 1?
Yes. All right, Mr. Garza, we're just waiting for your attorney.
Okay, ma'am.
And he should be here shortly. He's zooming in another courtroom.
Judge, can I be dismissed, please?
No, you're not dismissed.
Excuse me, ma'am. What if I don't want the court opponent? Can I represent myself?
Mr. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're gonna bring you back next week.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so the date we're gonna bring you back on is we're gonna bring you back on August 16th, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Your
Okay.
attorney is actually out of county and can't zoom in, all right?
Okay, that's no problem.
All right, thank you for your patience.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Norma, can you let them know that L8 can go back? Rebecca, on Peterson, that's
Yes,
going to be
ma'am.
recalled for September 15th.
Okay, thank you.
And my understanding, it will not be contested.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
All right, State, are you ready on the paperwork on Tallarico?
Yes, Judge, I sent it over.
All right, so Defense, have you received the paperwork on Tallarico? It should be at the court's computer in the courtroom.
Gotta hit that button.
Oh. Push.
Just push it.
Judge, I've done all the signatures that I'm aware of. I think we just sent it back right now.
Okay, thank you. Clerks, you should have the paperwork.
Judge, it shows that Mr. Barrera signed it, but I don't have any notes from the courtroom computer.
It hasn't gone to the courtroom computer yet.
Okay, let me look.
Okay, thanks.
We're ready? Okay, come on.
Norma, I sent you some information in the chat.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Hello, Orlando. Thank you for
Hey,
zooming
Judge.
in.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Orlando, your client is going to be Trey Lorenz Duncan. The cause
Okay.
number is 2020 CR 6711.
Yes, ma'am.
He's charged with murder. And defense was allowed to withdraw today. It was hired counsel. So Mr. Duncan is on the Zoom.
Okay.
We're gonna reset this for 30 days. Norman, can I have a 30-day reset for Mr. Duncan?
Yes, ma'am. You want me to just put it down on a Friday, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, let me.
Excuse me, Judge. May I ask about trial?
Mr. Duncan,
Yes, ma'am.
let me explain something to you. And this is something that you're not the only person I've told this to, but I don't know if you've heard it or not. So this is something that I feel that you need to hear. Everyone seems to think that they can be an attorney. They haven't been to anybody's law school. They haven't graduated anybody's college, but they want to be an attorney because they think that all attorneys do is talk. They really don't do anything. But imagine your attorney is a heart specialist and you're being taken to the hospital because you have a heart condition and they say they're going to have to do surgery. Now you may ask some questions like, okay, why do I need surgery? Maybe I can get a second opinion about whether I need surgery or not. But once you've made a decision that, yes, I'm going to go forward with the surgery, you don't then tell the doctor, hey, let me tell you how to operate on my heart. It's the same thing. Being an attorney is a professional occupation that people went to school for so they could be one. I can guarantee you that in Texas, everyone who is a licensed attorney probably at least has an undergraduate degree and they have a law school degree. I personally have 4, but that's neither here nor there. So I know for a fact that the attorney that has been appointed to you has degrees and has a law license. So anything that needs to be addressed, you need to speak to that attorney. Your attorney is Orlando Castellon. And Orlando, the previous attorney on this case was John Kuntz. He's been given some discovery. He says if you contact him, that he will make sure to give you whatever discovery he has. So this is going to be recalled for September 17th. And at that point, Mr. Castellano, I'm not going to force you and give you a trial date at that point because you're a new attorney on it. And I know you need to get up to speed.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Now, I will tell you that I believe your client is on GPS. Are you still on GPS, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So just so you're aware, Mr. Castellon, we've had 3 violation reports for GPS issues. So I'm going to send you to a breakout room with Mr. Duncan and you can collect whatever information you need from him. I'll send you out to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Judge. And just real quick, those violations, have they already been dealt with? Or
yes, they've already been addressed.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. You're welcome. And then you and your client are both excused from the breakout room. So Mr. Duncan, I need you to go to breakout room number 1. Mr. Duncan, I need you to go to breakout room number 1. He's there now.
I left as soon as you were about to say something else, Judge.
Oh, no, you and your client are excused from that room.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you for coming in on a short notice. Appreciate it.
You got it.
All right, so State, we are just waiting on this last case. And then I don't believe we're going to be back here this afternoon. So everyone just put some more patience in your pocket. And to the stage, I'm going to put something in the chat box.
Judge, can you see if the paperwork's in your email by any chance?
There is nothing in my email box. Let me see if anything's come through. Just give me a second.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, well, that's from Rebecca. No, I don't have anything in my email box.
Okay, maybe refresh your.
No, I have.
Oh, I'm talking to Lupe. I'm talking to Lupe.
All righty, thank you. All right, to prosecutors, I'm sending you a chat on this cause number. There's been a motion that's been filed. By defense. And actually, I believe it may be with family violence.
It's family violence, Judge.
All right. So we'll end up setting that, but of course, you all will have time to review it.
Because of the offense, this one's, it will cover this one.
Okay.
Judge, the paperwork looks like it's at Lupe's email.
All right. It's at Lupe. Lupe, it's at your email.
Let me check. I just approved it, Judge. I'm waiting to come back.
All right. Thank you. All right, as soon as he's sworn in, everyone, please let me know, and I will come back in. There's a judge's meeting and I'm being asked to get there. Just one moment. So everyone, I'm still here, but in another meeting. All right, everyone, just give me 5 more minutes, please. I just need to address one issue. All right, can I have parties approach, please? All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 3823A, State of Texas versus Frank Tellerico. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
Bobby Barrera for Mr. Tellerico.
And for the defense?
Bobby Barrera for Mr. Tellerico.
All right, and the court will note for the record that counsel and the defendant are in the courtroom. We're proceeding by Zoom. Any objections from the state or the defense?
None from the state, Judge.
None from the defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Tellerico, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Tellerico, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Proceeding on the lesser included offense of criminal trespass on private property, Judge, Class B misdemeanor.
Any objections?
We have no objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Tellerico, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of criminal trespass private property as a Class B misdemeanor? The range of punishment is up to 180 days in jail and up to a $2,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Tellerico, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of criminal trespass, private property. Punishment is be assessed at 6 months in the Bexar County Jail. There's $1,000 fine to be probated. There is no application for deferred adjudication, and the state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes,
Defense is that the plea bargain agreement.
it is, Your Honor.
State is that the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor, are there been any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 80 hours of community service restitution. There's to be no contact with Arthur Jacobson or 15063 Chippewa Boulevard in Selma, Texas, and the MRT. Did you understand that those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
A problem with the PSIs because we don't have enough.
Then to the offense of criminal trespass as a class B misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
I'm sorry?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
State offers states one attachments to include the attachments sent via email to court and counsel.
We have
Any
no
objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Tellerico, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Everyone give me a moment while I review the documents.
Get ready to. My sister's gonna come help. Yeah. This is my L1. This is some, there's starting to, might be, some of might be shadows. Yeah. I went there for my broken, I went there for my neck. And then they found this, I was like, oh, my back, like that. And so I found it. Let's see what she's. We brought the kids. Take a look. No, this one. 1,400 photographs. I was like, what's she talking? Can you a moment to the hours? Yeah. Go back and forth. See if you smile. Send them a text. I said, yeah. So I hope she's not.
All right, everyone. Sorry about that. As you know, I'm doing presiding and doing a lot of, have a lot of people who are coming back into the office, but wearing their mask. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty of the offense of criminal trespass as a Class B misdemeanor. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We have no objection, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I do, Your Honor. Mr. Tallarico has been recently diagnosed with tumors that are probably cancerous. He's getting ready to undergo cancer treatment. As you may be able to tell from the photographs, he's changed dramatically since the photo showing him on the premises because of health reasons. We'd ask the court take that into consideration in the assessment of community service. In addition, the state is recommending an MRT program. My review of the CATS program shows there are two. One is a 20-hour cognitive training. The other is and I may butcher it, a moral recognition program that I'm not sure at his age and condition would be appropriate. We ask the court to hold those in abeyance pending any other issues that he may have, although I doubt he would have while on probation.
All right, how's he supporting himself?
I'm about to get SSI and my mom just passed away. Did the court hear that?
Yes, I did.
It's going fast.
Hi, Jarvis. Stay safe, everybody.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to a $1,000 fine. That will be probated. 6 months in the Bexar County Jail suspended, and probated for 2 years. 80 hours of community service restitution, that'll be waived upon proof of medical condition. So if you provide proof to probation of your treatment and what's going on, the court will waive those community service hours. Regular Zoom reporting, if you can't report by Zoom, then you'll need to report in person. There's to be no contact with Arthur Jacobson, Jacobson. No contact with 15063 Chippewa, Chippewa Boulevard in Selma, Texas. Proof of SSI within 15 days. And we can either do regular UAs or patch. Was there any restitution?
None to my knowledge, Your Honor.
No determined amount, Judge.
All right. Well, I'll say restitution, if any. I don't know if there is any restitution. Of course, Mr. Barrera, if the probation or somebody says there is restitution, we can have a hearing on that.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Rebecca, does he need anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Tallarico, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Tallarico, good luck to you. We're going to go off the record. I hope everything works out well with your treatment. My understanding, the good thing is to have, what is the word I'm looking for? Good thoughts, hopeful thoughts. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you. And breakout room number 1.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Would we be excused otherwise?
Yes. Thank you so much. And everyone, thank you for your patience.